Hey guys, what's up? It's Devious Dasher. Got part 2 for you. This is going to be the inner and outer tie rods. I know these aren't, dashing videos, but this definitely goes hand in hand with dashing, I think. A lot of this stuff, a lot of you may have to farm out, but I just want to show you kind of how easy it is. And I feel it's kind of interesting, but I like car stuff, so... if this isn't your forte, I'm not going to do a whole bunch of these, but, each time I kind of work on something, I think it's kind of cool to show and all encompasses me, my world, and dashing. So I wanted to go ahead and throw it in. And then I'll have part 3, will be a real short one. That one is just the front brakes pads. So I think this one should only be about 10-15 minutes. Shouldn't be too long. I appreciate all of you watching. Again, if you don't like car stuff, maybe you'll get a kick out of my smarkasm. I don't know. But appreciate all of you. Here's the other part of the video. And I got a couple out-of-town editions coming, working on those. So thank you so much, all the new subs. Y'all have a great night. All right, so you gotta make sure you're safe. Use one of these. Because, yeah, you got the jack, but if that goes out, good luck. And my jack point, obviously the jack is on it, but just so we're covered, we'll at least put it there. And make sure it's not touching any brake lines or anything that run across that. And put the pin in. Our wheel's kind of cockeyed. What we're getting to is tie rod ends and the inner tie rod, which are these. And they're connected to steering rack. So to get these off, makes more sense if I have easier access. So we're going to turn the wheel so I have a little bit more room. If you guys want to listen, we can hear what that sounds like. Hear that little... Okay, that's about as much as we're doing. And then we'll pull the e-brake too. Make sure we ain't rolling. So there's a pretty good look at it. That's your rack and pinion there. And then that's the inner, which comes out, connects to the outer tie rod. And then this adjustment right here is how you get your alignment, your steering wheel straight. So if you don't want to go get an alignment, which, are like $200 now, and they used to be like 75 bucks, you want to mark this. And that will keep your general idea of where you're supposed to be at. Technically, you're supposed to go get an alignment, whatever. And then we're going to start. We're going to take, there's a cotter pin right there. So you just bend this. They bend. You can bend it with your hand almost. Or maybe not. You bend that, pull it out, and then we're going to turn this. You can see that boots. It's just got grease. I replaced these less than a year ago, but our roads are bad, and I'm putting 30,000 miles on. All this has been done. All the struts, or sway bar, link, rotors, pads, everything. CV axle, which is right here. And basically everything under here. Well, these little guys, those have been replaced. As you can see, I broke a bolt, so there's 2 different bolts, but anywho, let's get this sumbitch out of here. Bent it with my little cheap Harbor Freight picks, and then you just gotta pull it out of there. That's it. Little pin. So to get that end off, there's two type of tools. Now, the first time I did it, I had this. Now, this one's like a, I guess they call it some kind of a fork, like a, I'm sure mechanics are rolling and laughing, but whatever. I don't remember the name. But usually it's to get, you can get like the CV shaft or something pried in there. You can use it for basically anything. But as you can see, boom, fits there. Now, if you want to destroy that piece right there and mess this up possibly, then use this because they suck. This is a great investment, which is about 20 bucks. And will save you tons of time, especially if they've been on here for a long time. And basically, you just, look how nice that fits in there. There's two adjustments depending on your knuckle sizing. That just pulls out. But we have a bolt, and you can crank that down with a ratchet. I'm going to use my little impact gun and send it, and this thing will just plop right off. Now, first I gotta take the bolt off, but so we're gonna use this. What is that blink? Oh, there's a neon light up there. It's blinking. So use that little tool, turn it into a socket, and kind of hand cranked it down a little bit, so it's almost there. And send it. I'll move my leg so it doesn't fall on my leg. There you go. And that'll be why my alignment was so bad. I thought I needed alignment, which, you know, after I did all that suspension, I never got, because I can adjust the toe myself. And to do the alignment on this, I looked it up, and I'll put a link down. There's a cool website that gives you all old mechanics books, but online for free. And it's like All Data, if you're familiar with that, like what mechanics and shops use. But basically you have to round this out with a rasp on the strut and to adjust the camber, which is, you know, what the wheel was turning. That's why the outside edge, which it probably is a little off, but check this out. This is so bad. First of all, listen. That's that steering wheel sound, sloppy steering wheel, that knocking sound when I was turning. Check this. This is so bad. That thing should have pressure on it. That shouldn't even move. Like, it should stay up. There's a socket in there, like a round ball, and it's wore out. I'll show you on the new one. So last time I got, not a cheapy Chinese, but like a middle of the road kind of part, and obviously it failed already. I mean, it did go a lot of miles, but this time I got the Moog. And look at this. You can't even, obviously that boot's over this part so you can't see it, but I mean, I can't even, it's under my leg and you can't move it. There's the ball in there. See that ball? So that one's wore out, obviously. But yeah, I can't even, look, it won't even move. Now, it'll move under pressure of your car when you're driving like it's supposed to, but that'll just show you how loose that son of a bitch is. So I got these cheap little markers on Amazon. They're paint pens. They probably sell them at Michael's and shit too, but I'm gonna mark where that goes. So now I know it goes to that thread. Now, when I pull it off too, I can count the threads, but you know, rough estimate, I know where it's going. And then I gotta loosen this bolt. That's called the jam nut, and that keeps it from, you know, adjusting itself. You can see that just turns inside of there. It should never be that loose like that. I got ahead of myself a little bit, so I put that nut back on and just kind of set it in there, because you need to have pressure to be able to loosen this. Usually. I got this big old wrench from when I did this last time. And I'm going to need both hands for this one. All right, got it loose. So we're gonna leave it right there because we don't want to get, our alignment was good where we were at. And then take that back off. And now we can just twist this, but we're gonna want to count. You don't want to twist that with it. Let's see, we can twist that off, and you want to count how many you turn it. So we can count it, you know, full revolutions. There's 1, 2. So now we got to get these off. Now these are zip ties I put on, of course, because I did it. If most cars will have some kind of a retaining clip, or even maybe like a one of them hose clamp clips or something on there. But these I can just obviously cut. But I didn't, this is already a new boot, so I don't want to mess the boot up. I'm going to be careful. Alright, I got the boot off of there. And see, I mean, see that socket in there? Just, I mean, it's supposed to spin, but this is the scary part, guys. So, you know, you torque these down and you use, there's red Loctite on these threads. Red is supposed to basically hold it in. I must have, maybe I hit a curb, maybe it's the part, maybe, who knows. This is scary. So there's a tool here that you're supposed to wrap and put on there and, you know, crank that with an extension. Look at this. Hand loose. That goes, you lose complete control of the wheel. Scary. So this one came with the red Loctite. The new ones don't, because the other box I have is newer and it doesn't have it. So, and it comes with the new. Yeah. Didn't have that washer on there. And it's like an anti-rattle thing or something, but I'm gonna put it back on with this one. Should be all right. But coat those threads, just cover it in there. All right, so we got the little tool on there. Hand screwed this back in. It just threads in there. If you can see, that's your rack and pinion. Let me move my light. See, it's got like little notches in it. And then that tool, you just tighten these 2 bolts down as tight as you can kind of get. You don't want to get too crazy, but so I ratcheted them down, and then we're just going to stick an extension in there and then turn it, tighten it. So I just so happen to have a nice perfect extension for that, and then a breaker bar, and then we're just going to crank it and see it turns it. Now it has a torque spec of like, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 pounds, something. It's not too much. But unless you have a digital torque wrench, and good luck fitting anything in there. And it's an old car. I'm not horribly concerned about it, but I definitely wanted to make sure it was tight. All right, I'll tighten the tool off. So now, as you can see, I can move it, but it stays. And that socket's good. And if I pull on it, you don't hear that moving in there. Almost done. All right, I brought my other light there, a little cool little drill light. I bought this little skill set on Black Friday last year. It's only 12 volt, but it gets up and goes, man. It came with an impact. It's got a little speaker and all kinds of stuff. It was pretty neat from Lowe's. They make other add-on tools, of course. So you see that little bit of lubricant? That's not enough. I'm gonna put more. Usually they come with a little grease packet, but they sell this at Harbor Freight and like Ace and stuff. Super lube, just a multi-purpose grease. It's clear. Use it on anything. It works great, and it's like a waterproofy kind of, so it doesn't, you know, run off. Really good stuff. But I'm going to shove some of that in there before I put the boot back on. All right, well, we went ahead and put, you want to put like some anti-seize on there. And I don't know where it went, but anyway, so that way you can loosen that bad boy up when you need to. I'm just gonna reuse these. They're not too bad. I mean, it's a little squeezed, but there's no looseness in it, see? And then if I need to later, just pop it off. It takes 20 minutes, if that. So we were at 14.5 turns. So we'll start, there's our half. 1, 2, 3. All right, there's the 14, and I put the nut. You see I marked this one again. I held it up to the old one, and it's almost dead on. I mean, just barely, see? That's tight. So should be pretty good in alignment. If not, to align it, all I'll do is, I'll put the wheel and stuff back on, but I'll just loosen this, turn the tire, and then you can loosen this, and then just put a wrench on here and turn it. And it actually doesn't turn this, it will turn this because it's in that socket, but obviously achieves the same thing. And you're all aligned, your wheel's straight. But that should get us really close. And then you want to tighten it, but you want to make sure that you can get the pin through that hole, see? And I just so happened from last time to have a nice new set of cotter pins. So we'll just use a nice brand new one here. All right, got that cotter pin back in there. It's kind of like the way I like to bend mine. It's just kind of a little bit extra protection there. Keeps it, you know, nice and good. But all done, zip tied on, good to go. It's as easy as it is. So save yourself $200-300 when they try to rip you off. It's really easy. Now, if you got a newer car, it should be pretty similar. I mean, these are still mechanical parts. They haven't really changed. You start getting into some of the other stuff, you might have more sensors and things and what have you, but still basically just the arm attached to that. Now, a lot of the newer cars have electric, so they won't even have that rack and pinion or the steering rack, so you won't have that. But if you do got one of these, then it's pretty easy.